All right, welcome everybody. This is Walter Latham, and we want to welcome back our co-host. Basically, I mean, I think she's a star, but anyway, Miss Briggette Stokes out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We missed her tremendously. She had, some issues that she had to attend, personal issues, and hopefully she'll be back for a while. But then again, and life is what it is, and we just want to welcome her back. So, Miss Bridget Stokes, how are
Yes,
you?
I am doing fine. Hello, Walt Weekly followers. I miss you guys so much. You all don't know it. You know I love to talk that old folks stuff, but I'm just so glad to be back for a little while. Well, I'll be back. So let me make that correction. I'll be back. It may not be consistent, but I'll be back. So, Uncle, you told me this work on. I had a lot going on, and my he let me tell y'all, my uncle was wanting me to take care of that book too. So I'm gonna throw that in there. So that's where I've been a little bit. But mainly, like he said, I did have some issues that I had to address. But I am most certainly glad to be back so we can talk and brings some rich Williamston, North Carolina conversations to you all over the world and talk to you about issues that we like. So today we did not pick a particular topic, but I was telling him that I thought that the audience that you all would love to hear about uh, the code of family. Period. And when I'm gonna use that topic, he didn't know I was gonna throw that in there, but I'm gonna throw it in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you define that. Repeat now. What did you just
And I
say?
said the code of the topic when I was saying I was thinking about when I was saying I said, oh, I hope I look nice and I look good when I go. Back in the day when we were growing up from Williamson, I saw some of the recordings when you were saying you were growing up to Williamson. We had a certain way we had to present ourselves, and we probably be going in and out with conversations today, but this just popped in my mind. I was really concerned when I was looking at that. I said, it's been in the news, and I know some of the people have seen it in the news about how a lot of the HBCU schools have a new code address. The code
Yeah.
and how they're tired, they go in the classroom or they're tired, even in the public school system now. This year, a lot of public school system, and I thought, let's touch up a little bit on that. And when I say the cold of family, I know from our community, and I can only speak on our community. And Uncle, you know that.
Right.
Growing
Right.
up back in the day, um, they didn't let us go out of the house looking any kind of way. You know that.
Oh,
Girls
absolutely.
did not walk
That's true.
outside with rollers and stuff in their hair and uh,
Pajama pants type
pajamas
stuff they
on, and
wear.
it was just a culture thing. It was the
Yeah.
richness of our culture, the respect and honor that we brought with it. Back in the day, they would say, "Well, I don't care if you got a penny in your pocket, as long as you walk out looking good, look like you're rich, look like you have worth." And so I thought maybe you and I could just touch a little bit about HBC schools that you both of us graduated from those schools, and of course you probably went on farther, but we
Yeah,
we
I
knew.
graduated from a school in New York. I didn't graduate from Elizabeth City
Oh, so
State.
you didn't, right? Okay, but I
Yeah,
did.
because
So
mom died. You know how it was back then.
right,
It was just
but
me.
even there was there a code when you went to that particular school? There
Oh
was
yeah.
a dress code, and what was the dress code? Because that was
You put your shirt in. You have socks on. You have clean underwear. Let me just start with the clean underwear first, because you're building from the inside out, right?
yeah.
So you're going to start with clean underwear, clean socks, and clean clothes, of course. All right. That was before you left the house. That was a requirement. Okay. Your hair got to be combed. You got to be presentable. So when you go out in public, you are in the back representing your family.
You represented your family, and that's why I
Right.
said that maybe we can focus on the code of a family, because you do represent your family when you walk out that door. You walk out that
That's
door
right.
looking good. You don't look like you've been beat up, worn down.
Oh,
The the
yeah.
the from what I know and what we have seen in our history, and maybe what our ancestors may have taught us, they didn't have much, but they had pride
Yep.
and they had honor. And them ladies would take them hot straightening comb and straighten their hair out and flatten it down. I didn't mean to say straighten, but that's their southern word, but straighten their hair out and put their little lipstick on and go downtown shopping. They may not could go inside of a segregated store restaurant, but they went inside of a store looking good. You know, they went outside. They passed, in other words, they passed the store looking good when they did that. So that's what I mean when I say code of honor. And it is a code of honor in your family. Like you say, you represent what they are. It don't matter how much money you got. People don't know how to know the way you know what you got in your pocket. Even if, you know, some people say, well, if you dress up fancy, that means you got money. Not necessarily. Well, you don't have to dress up fancy to have something, to look like something. I said, but you do, like you say, need to look clean. Not like you're just getting up out of bed. So I saw a lot of the controversies and discussions on social media about that. Should schools tell children what to wear? They're just going there to learn. But you got
to have some issues out there now about in certain school districts wherein they, as far as headdress, you can't wear, you know, like turbans or what the Arab women or the Indian ladies wear. You know, I forgot what you call that thing that they wear. Mm-hmm. And then, well, I mean, they want to block that, you know, but those are religious and cultural things that they're blocking, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. But now those that wear those turbans and stuff, you can't say what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. You can't use that. I don't know how to say that. Right. But that is their religious. And if it's and to be fair, the schools are saying that, you know, it's acceptable is, I guess, based if there's a religious thing inserted in there somewhere, a religious belief that prohibit you from doing that. You know, right. But wearing your turban like I have on now, this is an African, this represent my race. It's just it's a fashion. It's a fashion that I'm wearing. And my hair ain't that's different than a bonnet. This ain't no bonnet. This is this is not a bonnet. This is a African head wrap. That's the difference. You see them bonnets like you just put on your head. Some will probably go in there with the rollers in there or the hair pushed up in there, in the bedroom shoes with all and I be saying sometimes, who told them to wear that stuff? Who was this idea that you walk in with your bedroom slippers on, your pajamas to class? You know, it's cute, but there is a time during the time at St. Aug in the university, and I wanted to really kind of bring my girlfriends in on this, but I can't. We're talking. No, yeah. There was a different type at the HBCU school that I attend. When I say we were fly, we were fly. They went to the classes. Well, it's nice. HBCU, like you said, the skirt touched in. There's some. Now I didn't wear heels, but I wore flat casual shoes. But some of them girls would come in with their heels. They came in looking like business. Came in looking like professional. They came here looking like I'm ready to learn. Some people feel like, well, that is that's the white man's way of dressing. No, we have our own culture. We have our own family code. That's our creativity. That's our idea. I disagree with that. Telling you how to come in, because when you walk in their jobs, you can't walk in their jobs with the head wraps or the whatever those things they tie around the head that men do to make their waves come in, or the braids. The do-rags. Oh, yeah. I think they call it do-rags. Yeah. That's imagine a do-rag on Wall Street. Imagine if I wore a do-rag when I went to work. No. I wouldn't be where I'm at now, actually. I'll be out in the street or in prison. You wouldn't even got that door in the door. That's what I'm saying. They had you arrested. Have a do-rag on. No, back then we didn't have the do-rag. We had the stocking cap. Mm-hmm. You know how you cut up, one of your mother's or your grandma's old pair of stockings? That one leg, and they take that in the bottom and put it on your head. That's what we use. But now they got do-rags. They got do-rags. You made them waves come through there. So that's why that code F, and not just with the HBC school used, because they wore it. I look nice going to school, but if I go back and revert back to my childhood, my mama always sent us to school looking nice. We had little ribbons in our hair.
Yeah, I remember
Dresses
that. I
and,
remember y'all in
you
the
know,
little can and
you
all
should
that kind of stuff.
remember. Our little
Yeah, little
soft matches.
and you remember the
Yes.
cans? I think, what do you call those things? Cans? That
Canes in
make
my
your dress
dress.
all full, all, like they,
Yeah.
like a doll,
Yeah.
like a
Look
doll
like a
baby.
doll. It means something. This shit. That the old people always say, you gotta have a penny, but look like more than a penny when you walk out that door. It look like you're worth something. So, and I think that's the point that HBCU schools are trying to tell us. Let's go back to our pride, our community code of ethics,
Yeah.
our dress code. And that applies to not only the schools, the colleges, but it also applies, they're doing it, they're saying that don't bring the cell phones in there. You can't learn anything. They're texting your friends with
Yeah,
cell
that's
phones in
everywhere. They
there.
can't, even in New York now, they're taking your
You don't
cell
need, I
phones
saw
away.
that when
Yeah.
I was retiring, that it would become a problem. Well, weekly viewers, even they're telling you to let the teachers to take your phones, and some of those students are on the phone playing with their phones. Why? And it's a code, there. You don't need that for learning. Your dress code can be distractive going into the classroom. The girls with the boobs out, the pants that showing the things all hanging out. That's distracting. It's distracting not only for the teacher up there, but also the males out there learning, sitting in there looking. A man, there are hormones everywhere. They're looking. Man is a man, he gonna look, So
Oh, yeah, that's what I think that women fail to realize that, we're trying to override instinct. All right. If we see a woman that got on a short skirt or they sit in a certain way or this or that, it's instinctive that we would react the way we do.
Very instinctive. That's
all right. Because, we were put here to propagate and have more kids. That's our number one duty when we come on the earth.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I get tired of women, wearing this short stuff and this, and then when you look over there, they act like you shouldn't be looking. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be dressed like that. But when you tell them that, they say, well, I'm free and I should be able to do this and I should be able to do that. That's not right to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair to a man.
Right.
It's not fair. I'm not saying, I don't lust. I try, hey, but then I am human. I'm a male. All right. So if I see something that's sexually attractive, I'm going to look. I'm going to react to that.
That's exactly
and women in our society fail to realize that. I think they get lost